Good call.
Right?
Good call. We are live here. That is on. All right, January 12th, 2026, Monday, call the Chickasaw County Board of Supervisors meeting to convene. Roll call, all members are present, along with Board Secretary Sheila Shackleton. Is there a motion to approve today's agenda as presented?
So. Second.
Motion by Scott, second by Steve to approve today's agenda. That was published. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Motion is carried. Let's just do a little discussion on tomorrow's agenda. I know there's one board member that cannot make it tomorrow, and I did ask before the meeting if Wednesday would work, and we have one board member that would not work for that day. So with some discussion with the county attorney, I think we should probably postpone all of the budgets on Tuesday, but still do the items that are needed to be done this week. So I probably leave everything as is, but let Lisa, Roman, and Dave and Shirley that we are not gonna do the budgets, but we will do anything else that is needed to be done for the week. So most likely Lisa will have nothing, Roman will do the Kenwood and the hourly rate. Dave will do the electrical panels. Shirley would be canceled then. Budget work session will be canceled also.
So we will have the meeting tomorrow.
I will make that call that we will have a meeting tomorrow, but no budget work session will be discussed until following week. We need to be here, and I feel all five of us need to be here for these discussions. So. Can't change what happens. We just have to work with it. So, meeting is on for tomorrow, but it's gonna be it could maybe only take about 10 minutes. Ray's on the phone, okay. Is there a motion to approve the minutes from January 5th, 2026?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Travis, second by Isaac to approve the minutes from January 5th. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? Motion is carried. Give me a second, because I'll have it too, I guess, on your computers. Can we put Ray on, please?
I can start it now.
Yep.
Good morning, Ray. How are you? Okay, Jake's just getting ready. I'm gonna put you on speaker, okay? Thank you.
Morning, Ray.
Can you hear us, Ray?
Discuss, assessor land use, Ray Armel, resolution number 1/12/2604, minor subdivision for Kirkenbach.
Okay. Basically what they're doing here is trying to correct the ownership on the building side, as when the hog confinements were built, they were built after the parcel was established, and parcel A, and they were not constructed completely within the surveyed parcel. So they're going to do a swap on some land so that all of the hog confinements will be on one parcel, and then the grain storage structures and crop ground will be on the parcel with the remaining all the crop ground.
So we have your second to last page up, page number 10. The red outline is the splits, 72 and 73.
Yeah, the red outline will demonstrate that parcel 2023-72
Yep.
will be brought into and part of the building site, and parcel 2025-71 will then become part of the crop, surrounding crop ground.
I get it. Yep. Any other questions from the board? Okay, see what he's doing. If there's no other questions, there a motion to approve resolution 4.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
That's Steve?
Yes.
Perfect, thank you. Sometimes you guys sound alike. Motion by Travis, second by Steve to approve resolution 112-26-04, a minor subdivision. Any discussion? If not, roll call. Travis.
Aye.
Steve.
Aye.
Isaac.
Aye.
Scott. Jake. Aye. Motion is carried. Resolution is adopted 5-0. Thanks, Ray.
All right, very good.
Thank you, Ray.
Thank you.
All right. We got about a minute here. Discuss and approve department and safety meetings for calendar year 2026 at the Community Service Building. There's some dates that I think need to be fixed just because of what we've done in the past. I always remembered them on the second Monday of the end of the quarter. So with my calendar, sorry Sheila, that would be March 9th, June 8th, September 14th, and December 14th is the second Monday of the end of the quarter.
Should have remembered that when you were reviewing it.
I know, my bad too. So it's not Labor Day. It's not the 8th. So if you guys are okay with the safety meetings at 12:30, followed by the department head meetings on the second Monday of the end of the quarters, dated March 9th, June 8th, September 14th, and December 14th. If that's okay, we'll get that in.
And these new dates, I need to verify with Anita, but,
Yeah,
okay.
the dates, if the building doesn't work, we can go to the Heritage. But if that's okay with you guys, it's the second Monday of the end of the quarters. Just to be consistent. If you guys are okay to set those, is there a motion?
So moved. Second.
Thanks, everybody.
Motion by Scott, second by Isaac to set the quarterly department head safety meetings for said dates of March 9th, June 8th, September 14th, December 14th. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, anybody opposed? Motion is carried. I got 9:06. Is there anybody that signed in for public comment?
No,
Thank you. Discuss and approve quarterly reports ending December 31st, 2025 for the departments of Sheriff, EMS, Recorder, Veteran Services, and Auditor.
and I should probably put that all in your packet, okay?
Yep. Just to clarify on the EMS one, which is page 2 of 4 of the packet. When he has a beginning balance, is that the October 1st balance or the July 1st balance? Do you know?
Well, because
It
it is,
must be,
because it's, let's see, this is mine.
it's
And I
this sheet
do-
right here,
Right, so his thing is ran from March, or
October
for
1st.
October 1st, the same as mine, so if I do
It
fiscal
has to be
period,
October
beginning.
1st. Okay. So his report's a little bit different than the other departments. So he must start October 1st, activities, and then end of December. I just look at the interest on that form. You know, he's making some very good interest for that department fund. I mean, he's made over $10,000 for 6 months, which is helpful, is what I'm trying to get to you guys. Any other questions with those reports from? Any questions with the auditors? Quarterly report, the sheriff, EMS, reporter, veteran services.
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion by Travis, second by Steve to approve the quarterly reports for the departments of sheriff, EMS, recorder, veteran services, and auditor ending December 31st, 2025. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Motion is carried. Payroll claims dated Friday, the 9th of January. Did all have a chance to look those over?
So,
Motion by Scott, is there a second?
Second.
Payroll.
Second.
Motion by Scott, second by Travis to approve the payroll claims, prior payroll, dated January 9th, 2026. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Motion carried. We'll finish up with the claims of $282,184.25. Anything?
Make a motion to approve. Second.
Motion by Steve, second by Isaac to approve the claim in the amount of $282,184.25. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Motion is carried. Good things, yeah. I'm gonna just hand these over, Trish, give me a second.
Yep.
To the auditor's office. You're welcome. All right, we got 9:10, meet with Northeast Iowa Community Action Chief Executive Officer Tricia Wilkins. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. I did bring copies. Did everybody get copies? I think we sent them in advance. Nobody needs them? Okay.
Yep.
Very good. All right. I think I know everybody. I've been here. This is my 7th year as Chief Executive Officer for Northeast Iowa Community Action, and I've been with the agency. I'm on my 17th year with the agency. So our mission is to advance community development and improve social and economic conditions for individuals and families with limited resources. We do this with quality family services, advocacy, education, along with many, many partnerships with additional organizations. We are mostly federally funded. That's our largest share of revenue. And when I say mostly, I mean mostly 75-ish% of our revenue initially begins with the federal government. We'll talk about the challenges in a little bit that we've experienced with that. But we also have state funding, local funding, private funding, donations from businesses, individuals, and cities and counties that have been very, very good to help contribute to our operations, especially in our outreach offices within the counties. I do bring up the funding structure every time I go out and about to talk, especially to our cities and counties, because I do think it's important to highlight the economic impact that our organization has within your communities. We not only help our neighbors and friends with those who are struggling, but we also provide business to utilities, landlords, hotels, gas stations, auto mechanics, all of those pieces within our community. So when we look specifically at Chickasaw County, we assisted 618 individuals this last program year with a total of $193,590. And again, this is mostly federal funds going into your county. We also employ 5 individuals who reside in Chickasaw County. And here in Chickasaw, we have 1 family services and outreach office in just outside of New Hampton, which is county space. And it's been a great relationship for many, many years with the sharing of space that's been provided by the county. We also have 1 Head Start classroom that's in the school system now. We're actually, it's been a while now, but in the church across the street for a lot of years too.
The only school's in New Hamptons, right?
Well, yes, yep. So then we pull things out a little bit. In program year 2025, our whole agency served over 9,000 individuals within our 7 counties with almost 3.3 million in services across our 7 county service area. And when I say that 3.3 million, I do mean financial assistance. Programs and services like Head Start in Transit are not calculated into that. And we all know that those operational costs exist as well. When we take a look at specific programming, you'll kind of see that on that second page when it indicates, or third page maybe for you guys, when it indicates the particular program breakout. So low-income home energy assistance program, that's our largest program that we operate, and it's the largest in all of our communities. So what it is, this program provides financial assistance for a supplement of home heating costs during the winter season for households that qualify. It can include repair, replacement of a non-operable or non-working furnace. This year has been tough for that. We've had to prioritize the regular assistance supplemental funds over the furnace funds. We're in our busy period right now in our FY26 program. So last year, our program concluded on April 30th, and we served 230 households, totaling $126,960 in LAHEAP. Crisis assistance is another financial assistance program that we have. These are for emergency needs that arise for families. So it can include food from some of our pantries, where we have pantries, financial assistance for utility disconnect, past due rent, eviction notices, car repairs, and medication. This is a year-round program, but it operates very locally. Each county might be a bit different depending upon the funding that we receive within each county. Some counties do a little bit better with others. That could be private donations. It could also be community foundation grants. Mercy has been very good for many years in New Hampton and has provided some help for us to assist that crisis fund. So last year, there were 37 households who benefited, totaling about almost $18,000 in support from our crisis fund. Weatherization addresses health and safety, mostly insulation, and then also repair, replacement of non-working appliances, often upgrades to LED lighting. Weatherization is sort of a cross between both. There's two goals to it: health and safety, to make sure we address anything that could affect the health and safety of families, also improvement to energy efficiency. And so we know exchanging those LED lights makes a big change on our utility bills. So those are some focuses. Head Start, we've currently got 10 classrooms. Like I said, New Hampton is our classroom here in Chickasaw County. We had a very rough year in Head Start this past year. We lost nearly $600,000 in state funds. And this had for decades been utilized to provide before and after school care. So we were able to, in all of our classrooms, open as early as 6, close as late as 6, because most of us don't have jobs or school that are school day hours. And so in losing that funding, we had to pull back on that service, and now we continue to offer school bus to school bus, so school day services for our families. FADS, Family Development Self-Sufficiency Home Visiting Program, really works to address barriers with families and help them learn to advocate for themselves. Public transit, we do operate that. It is not in Chickasaw or Braemar County. The state has a different territory area for that. And so there's another provider, Intercog, that works with Chickasaw County. But we do provide the public transit service within our 5 counties. Something that was just unique for us this past year in transit, we were able to be a part of the Lansing Bridge project that when there was a community need, we were shuttling individuals from the city of Lansing to the water taxi. So we had the opportunity to help meet that particular community need. General assistance, we do provide general assistance services here in Chickasaw County. You're one of our 4 counties that we contract with. And so we charge a minimal fee of $6,000 to administer it. And then we have those who come to our family services apply for it to meet all the regulations that the county has adopted in their ordinances. Government shutdown, I just have kind of sharing. To say this was a challenge for our agency this year is a major understatement. The beginning of 2025 saw federal funding freeze that really concerned us, but ultimately didn't have an impact on our operations. But when we got to the end of the year, in my 17 years, I have not seen an environment of instability that I had this past year. So Head Start saw major changes, but we now have, once things got back going, we got our LAHEAP contract. We're rolling with our $26. We continue to receive updates of the strong support that we have, the strong bipartisan support that we have for our continued programs. But especially with LAHEAP starting October 1, which is when the government shutdown occurred, we continued our program as we normally would, but you're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars of obligated funds. And in our particular area, we have the largest amount of deliverables out of all of the community actions in Iowa. And deliverables, of course, are our gas or propane. And if you're going to obligate funds, they're going to fill those tanks. And so if somebody cannot pay the bills, we cannot go back and take that. So we had to do a lot of things that were just a bit different when we didn't really know if those funds were coming through. But they did, so we're moving forward, and fingers crossed this year might be a little bit different. So that's the hope. Any questions? I feel like I kind of flew through that, but.
I'm gonna put it up on the screen, but it's the general relief budget that you mentioned.
Yeah.
It says we presented that last Monday in the board.
Okay.
Wondering if you still wanna have it that high.
As far as total budget?
It was just a question that came up, so it's gonna show up here shortly. So the general relief budget that you use for us, and we appreciate you guys doing that, it has saved a lot of money.
Yep.
So the administration you talked about was 6,000 up on top, but it looks like a lot of the other ones you don't use often for the past 3 years.
That's kind of up to you guys if you think. And if you want, we could take a better look at like a snapshot of the history of it and look at the last few years. We keep it the same, but we don't meet it every year. Only because this crisis funding seems to be getting less and less. And it's harder to qualify for general relief because it's 100% of FPL. And that's a very low, whereas our crisis is a bit higher. It's 200%, which is why you might see some savings in the budget. Individuals and families maybe just aren't qualifying, even though they might need it.
So like last year, for example, that wrapped up in June,
Mm-hmm.
you only spent 6,186 total. And that looks like even 2 years ago was 6,865 with a $26,000 budget request. So if you have any insight to help us, can we lower it? Should we keep it the same?
Let's look at it.
Okay.
I'll take that back and I'll talk to our finance about, because I think we can, depending upon what you guys, or do you have a goal?
I don't think we have a goal. It
Okay.
was just brought.
Anything could be helpful.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what's going on with House File 718 and everything else. So we're just trying to figure out if that was one department that could go down a little
Sure.
bit, if need be.
Yep, that's a
We
good,
can always do budget amendments.
Sure.
We are always open for that. But
that's a good idea. And mostly generally, and I would say probably in Chickasaw too, it's the funerals that have the bigger, because that's really the only program that our crisis doesn't address. So there is no other source of funding for funerals. And so that line item in all of our counties is gonna be what is highest. So maybe if we left that particular one alone and then looked at some of those other pieces.
We haven't used any funeral, it looks like 2 years.
for the last 2 years.
2 years.
But I know Supervisor did bring that up last week too,
Yeah.
that the local funeral home has paid for some funerals locally. Maybe they didn't qualify for payment.
That's probably what it is. Yeah. And I don't know, I mean, we try to keep our ordinances consistent across all the counties, but it is entirely up to the county if you want to talk about changing that criteria. Do we want to raise it from 100%? Because I think the code allows for a local decision on that. Because it's really difficult to meet 100%. And then there's asset questions. It's a homestead worth a certain amount. It is, and so general relief is intended to be a last resort of funding, which is why the criteria is so strict. But I wonder, because my guess is the need is there. It's just individuals families may not be qualified. That doesn't mean they can afford it.
And then I suppose we have to look at too, I'm not gonna go down this rabbit hole, but if it's in life estate, if the residents in the life estate or a trust, is that money gonna be used before county funds be used for a funeral?
Yeah, it really should be. The one thing that we know is that you can't rely on the code says you can't require family members pay for it, but they really designed that, so there should be nothing else where that would be. And we know the funeral homes take they eat a lot of costs with that, because I think our 2,000 might be the max on
It
that.
might be in the
Yeah.
ordinance or the policy.
But those are all pieces the county can change. I mean, if you looked at your ordinance and resolution, but then you have to be prepared, because then that budget might go like that too.
Exactly.
So, but I'll take that back. I'll talk to Martin and I'll talk to finance about maybe just peeling off something, with the understanding, like, if we end up having a big push, then like you said, we could come back and have a conversation about an amendment too.
Yeah, any other questions on the general relief that Northeast Iowa has, you've been doing it for 6,
It's
7
longer than I've been on, so yeah, a long time.
It was a good move. We used
Yep.
to have local staff, local people running that general assistance, but your agency's been doing a great job of
Thanks.
putting that out there, so.
Any questions about organization or other agency programs at all?
Your request this year is 35,306.
Yep.
I know we had to lower it last year due to some budget information we had at that time, so.
We understand, we know that there's a lot happening at the state level. We haven't raised it for a long time. Understanding you guys have your budget you have to meet. We're all sort of in the same situation and same, but we appreciate anything that can help. And you guys give us space, and don't think for a minute that that doesn't make a huge difference to us too, because we don't get that everywhere. So we appreciate that.
Any other questions, concerns? If not, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Have a good day.
You too.
Do we have area aging? Are you?
That's
Perfect.
me.
Thank you. So it was scheduled for 9:20, that's 9:25. Agency on Aging, Director of Grants and Development, Lisa Week.
Wetzel, like pretzel.
Perfect.
Yep.
You have a request for us for fiscal year 26-27. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. Hopefully, is it okay if I stay seated?
Yeah, you're
A little
fine.
more- Okay,
Yeah.
a little more of a casual gal, and I don't want to be given a terrible view to.
No.
So I'm going to start off just a little bit differently. I get asked to describe a lot what we do, and I think most of you know we do Meals on Wheels. That's the one people know us for. We serve meals, but we do more. And so recently, instead of coming in and being like wah, 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 and using all our acronyms and things like that, I thought I'd give you a little better piece. And I decided to ask some of our staff, tell me what you do direct staff, because it's been 8 years since I've been in the direct staff shoes. So I'm gonna read this for you, because it's a little easier for me to do it verbatim that way. So when I asked, tell me what you do, and this is what I got. From my case manager, Lori, I met with a 79-year-old client in her home. The referral was originally for a home modification situation, but after speaking with her, she was low income and only made about $1,100 a month in Social Security. She received food stamps years ago, but lost them and never applied again. She budgeted her money and prayed that God would always take care of her in any type of situation. I discussed with her programs such as LIHEAP, Medicare Savings Plan, property tax credits, and an exception through the water company, applying for SNAP again. She said that she had never applied for LIHEAP, even though she would financially be eligible, and she had never applied for property tax credits for the Medicare savings programs, because she didn't completely understand the processes. The forms are often online now, or the print's very small if you print them off. I completed a SNAP application, a property tax credit application, an application for the Medicare savings programs, since she would not meet level of care for the elderly waiver. I also applied for sewer, garbage, stormwater reduction applications, and reminded her to apply for LIHEAP on October 1st, as the application was not available at that time. I found out she was approved for SNAP and will receive $48 per month. She was also approved for the property tax credit, and her taxes went from $582 to $81 per year. She was approved for a Medicare savings program to help pay for her Medicare premiums, which saves her $185 a month. She was also approved for a total assistance with her garbage and stormwater and will receive a credit of $50 each quarter on her water bill. She said that her water bill 3 months ago was $115 and the new one is $68. She was always taking care of everyone around her, and now it was finally time for someone to help her. Because of Lori's expertise, she was able to be able to look beyond what the client was initially looking for and help her find so many more things that she was entitled to through our options counseling and benefits enrollment center. It was a total savings of over $310 a month before LIHEAP, almost 1/3 of her monthly income. How life-changing would that be? If somebody could find me 1/3 of my monthly income, I wouldn't be so worried about the car accident my 16-year-old was in Friday and having to replace a car. I wouldn't be so worried about a lot of things. The issue is there's a lot of programs out there that we heard about from Trish. I wish she would have stayed so she could have, But a lot of our older residents don't always know about them. A lot of these things have gone to where they're being talked about on social media, on the internet, and not all of them have access to that, or they're not as easily out in the community to find out about those things. And when they do find out about them, the application font is either very small, or you have to fill out an electronic application. A lot of what our staff does, we may have people calling in for those Meals on Wheels or congregate meals, but they go into the home and they do these comprehensive home visits where we don't just listen to that one thing they need, but we're gonna listen to that entire situation and say, I understand you need meals. That program is very, very oversought. We've had to really tighten the guidelines because funding for that has remained level for 10 years, despite inflation being absolutely crazy and the cost of services going through the roof. But what we do help folks with is all of these other programs that they don't know about that they're entitled to. So that's one of the biggest things that we help folks do. Here in Chickasaw County, those information and assistance programs are our highest used, and typically, that's how we see it across the board with everywhere. We had 40 individuals get those in-home kind of consultation services, we call it options counseling or information assistance. 82 hours worth, sitting down, helping them. We had, looks like about 10 different applications get filled out. I don't even know how much savings those people had. This was just one story that we had well documented. I have sent all of you kind of our little graph that broke down. I'm not gonna go through that all. You've had a chance to read it. I have a story of one individual person there that was talking about how the home delivered meals help them. That's a popular thing in this county. And then our request was outlined in the letter. In Chickasaw County alone, and I'm not gonna give you stats on our other 18 counties, we were able to serve 89 people for a total cost of $80,920. We are also primarily federally funded. I won't go into the whole spiel about that because you guys know that's kind of been a mess. And like I said before, level federal funds for the past at least 10 years with a growing population and growing cost of services. What we do with our counties is we are required, because of federal funding, to seek out local public funds as match. And we've come up with a flat amount of 3% that we like to ask counties as local public match to kind of just help support the cost of the goods and services that we provide in the community. So that amount is $2,400. And we would just like to seek that as support to continue doing what we do in your county.
Do we have a current 2080 agreement with you guys? Have we gave money to this agency?
Yeah, we have.
We have.
Yeah, so we must, yeah.
And if not, we can always get another one as well. But I believe 18 counties, it's hard to keep track if we do or not. I think we do.
Any questions for Lisa? I've used this before. I've helped with delivering wheels with my grandfather many years ago. So I know what you guys do. I know it's appreciated. We'll see. Any questions, or we'll just put it with the budget and see what we can do.
All right, sounds good.
Any questions, anybody? Thank you.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Lisa.
Have a good day. Chip, I'm gonna postpone you guys for 1 minute. Get Ryan on the agenda here. Good morning, Ryan.
Good morning, everybody.
Discuss the fiscal year 26-27 rates for law enforcement drive-through services with past contracts. Will this also include the communication?
Yeah, yep, you can kind of send them all at the same time, yeah. Communication, drive-through, and then the contracts.
Any discussion with the cities or any requests?
You guys set rates, I've said this last night before, I do not set rates, I will not set rates, I provide law enforcement services.
What's
to
the
everybody.
current drive-through?
The current drive-through is $17 per capita.
What's the law enforcement for Vicksburg and Nash?
It's $75 an hour.
And then what's the flat communication per person?
18.
So it's $18 per person in the city of New Hampton for communication. That's for their communication for PD, fire,
That's just police department.
just police department.
Correct.
What about their street and sewer? Do you do anything? Do you guys get the changeover phone yet from the light plant
Light plant,
after hours? Or they switch to a different system?
it still rings in, I do believe it does ring in sometimes, so at least they page, I'm not sure how their system works.
I think that's how it used to work, because they would switch the phone over to you guys and then you guys would page out their employees. What's the population? Well, we know that we can look that up. So for today, we need to discuss drive-through for the 6 cities. No, five cities. So
Five
no-
cities, Elmhurst, Stark, Washington, Bassett, Miami, and Lawler.
So that current rate is $17 per person. That's what they pay the county for law enforcement drive-through service. You guys want to keep it at 17? I thought about this over the weekend, do we just ask for 2%?
That was my exact thought, is that that's what we're trying to keep the budgets down to. I think that probably is a reasonable number.
So that's 34 cents. You guys want to just call it 17.30? So it'll be less than 2%. Am I getting head nods?
Yeah.
17.30?
Yeah.
17.30?
Yeah.
So 17.30 for those 5 cities. And then the $18 for communication for the city of New Hampton. If we do the same 2%, 18.36, so you guys want to go 18.35 or 18.30? 18.36 would be 2%. This is communication for the city of New Hampton. Is there a consensus?
1836.
18.36? Isaac, okay with that?
Yeah.
So 18.36 for the communication contract. And then the law enforcement for the city of Fredericksburg and Nashua at $75 an hour. Have you done any comparison of what it costs one of our deputies per hour?
Right now, based on figures for my proposed budget, you're about 76.35. That takes in salary. General idea of overtime might be like budget for fuel, vehicle maintenance repairs, tires, uniforms, general police supplies, training, which includes lodging and meals. It did go down a little bit because vehicle replacement, based on how we're operating right now and what we get for funding, it's a replacement every 10 years versus every 8. Then I figure in family health insurance, that includes FICA and IPERS. Those salaries based on 20 hours.
And you said what number
About
was that?
76.35.
So 2% of 75 is 76.50. Again, 2%, 76.50 for those 2 cities.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
76.50 for the
The only question I got is, I know one town is thinking about going away from the contract.
I don't have to, I mean, if they want to, if Frederick wants to do that, if that's what you're talking about, let's just say who it is in this room. I think we need to do that. That's fine. Or if it's natural, I don't know. I don't have to sign their 2080 agreement to provide law enforcement services in that contract. State code says they gotta provide police law enforcement services. And how they do it, it could be their own police department, contract with the county sheriff, municipal police department between 2 cities. They've gotta have something. And I'm not trying to hold the bucket over their head. However, I think we can try to come to an agreement based on calls for service, but they can go away from us. I guess that's what they wanna do.
Well,
We'll lift them up the budget accordingly, but they've gotta have something for state code.
Well, the story I got from one guy was maybe just going through to the drive-through.
Doesn't mean I have to agree to it and sign it. I wanna do the best we can. I mean, Our office is not a revenue generating office, that's very clear. We do not bring in revenue. It's my job to provide law enforcement services to everybody in this county, no matter where they live. And 85% of my budget's funded on GB and GS currently. 15% on RSP. If that's the way it's gonna go next fiscal year, I don't know. But it takes a certain amount of people and resources to provide that service across the county. And it's up to you five sitting there and how much money that's gonna take and what I do with that. So if that's a discussion they wanna have, we can definitely have it.
What about, your drive-through hours as a per capita? Could, well, I don't know how you do that though.
Yeah, we can't talk about when they drive through those cities.
Yeah,
That's a security issue.
And that's something each what's very international, they want us there certain times a day, and I fully understand that based on what they have going on, the schools they have in their communities, I get that, but I can't guarantee us to be there. I just can't. You never know what's gonna happen wherever. We do our best to get there around those times, but you've got two towns, 20 miles apart.
And you provide information, I believe, at the city council meetings of the hours worked in those cities. I mean,
Yes.
you provide transparency of those two populated, number 2 and number 3 of the
And
county.
again, it could be a budget decision for them as a city, based on calls for service. I don't know if I'd be the one to say, yeah, we'll provide it to you, but it's up to you guys. You guys set the rates and have the contracts. You guys want to sign the contracts, not me.
Yeah, I think if any city wants to have that conversation, I think we're more than welcome to bring them up.
I get the same for the drive-through cities. What more do they get that the contract towns don't? The contract towns get a set number of hours. That's the only difference. You read the contracts, that's the only difference. I don't do city ordinances. That's just not a road I'm ready to go down. I just think that would muddy the waters completely. We'd spend a lot more time in these towns, and I know it's a big topic of conversation. That's what they want. I get that.
So our job today was to set rates for a recap, $17.30 for drive-through of 5 cities or more, if they want to have that conversation. $76.50 for law enforcement patrol in the city of Fredericksburg and Nashua. And then $18.36 for communications for the city of New Hampton.
The contract hours are 76. What is it?
$76.50.
50, okay.
I'll just make one comment that, I don't think these cities are being held up by these rates. I've said it before, 73% of GB and GS comes from non-incorporated parts of the county. So I think, rural people are subsidizing that quite a bit.
Especially now with RSB funding some of it. So.
You think it should be higher, the drive-through rates?
I sure don't think they should try to lower it, I guess. I think it's very reasonable.
Yep, I agree. And I like an increase. Now, I think there was a couple of years that we froze it, didn't move it, and then there was a catch-up couple of years to get back up to what other communities are paying throughout the state. We all good with those consensus numbers that Sheila wrote down? 1730, 1836, and 7650.
So we're doing consensus.
Those are consensus. Anything else, Ryan?
No, very good. I'll pass that on. I see Nashville's got a meeting on Wednesday. I'll probably attend that.
And I guess I'll just finish, if those two cities want to lower hours, just bring that back to us and see. Because you're right, we signed off on the 2080.
Yeah, you guys sign up for 2080 and then see. Could it affect my budget? That's you guys' decision. So.
Yep.
Very.
When do you think I'll meet with those to get us the revenue side of your budget?
When I find out if they're gonna, that's the biggest part of my revenue that comes in, is that. So
I know.
once these are set, I don't get a ton of pushback on the drive-through rates. I get some. And I hope they can reach out to you guys, we can have these discussions.
Yep.
I'm gonna try to get on National's agenda for Wednesday, see what they're thinking, what their thoughts are. They're trying to do their budget just like we are too, so. I can punch in these numbers and send it over so you see what it looks like.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna have a
Based
lot
on-
of meetings
based on
next
current
week.
hours?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you get it, whenever you get it.
Yep.
Appreciate it, thank you. All right.
Sorry to hold you up there, guys.
Oh, you're fine. Thanks for all you do, man. Thank you.
All right, we have 9:43, Chickasaw County Council on Aging. Well, not called, yeah,
That's our base name.
that's your base name, the
Yeah,
event center.
That was how it was set up way back then.
Thank you. So we got board president Chip Sugarrath with us, and Janet Pickar is the director, I believe. So good morning,
Morning.
discussion on a request for budget for next year.
I'll go ahead and start. I don't know if everybody knew Janet. She's doing a great job for us down there. First of all, we sent you a letter requesting the 7,000 is what it says in the 2080. This last year you gave us 26, and we sure appreciate that. The last 2 years, we've been really making this place turn around, and we've got a lot of good donors that have been stepping up to the plate to help us. We had the gala, which Jake came to, and we had 200 people and $50 a plate. And that's when we gave them our pitch that we need you guys to help us make this thing work. It costs about $5,000 a month just to break even with expenses and upkeep and snow removal, all that happy stuff. So we made about $40,000 on that event, free and clear. The food, some of the food was donated, some wasn't. So after expenses, we took in about $40,000. And so I also wanted to tell you too that we have in reserve, which we didn't have before, we have $100,000 set aside because we replaced one furnace. There's 6 more, and it's 24 years old, the building. So, and we're trying to replace some kitchen equipment. Over the weekend, she had volunteers came and painted the main room, so it's nice getting spruced up. Our business is up like 30%. Our rentals are up 30% over the last couple of years, so it's starting to come around. Every Tuesday, if you would like to come down and have a meal with us on a Tuesday at noon, you'd have to notify her at noon. But I'd like maybe 1 or 2 of you to come down sometime and just visit with the people that are coming. We get about 30 people. They're the community members that have been supporting us, and I think they enjoy having somebody from the county come down and talk to them. We're trying to work with nonprofits. That's our goal, is to get, now that we've finally got some money to work with, we're gonna try to figure out a way to help nonprofits so they don't have to pay for someplace to go, that we can let them use our facility with the kitchen and everything. So that's kind of our goal. We're also trying to work with the veterans. We'd really like to partner with them if they ever move out of the upstairs downtown to be in with us. We'd also really like to work with the chamber and have them become a part of us too. So it's a process we're working on, and your money has helped us get to where we want to be. So anything you can help us with that, if you can give us 2,600 or more this next year would be great. I don't know if you have anything else you'd like to add. Janet's done a really great job. She puts in 50 hours a week and gets paid for 20. So that's part of the reason that people are coming, is because she's very personable and people like what we're doing. We have somebody that stepped up to offer us $10,000 if we can get somebody to match it, but you gotta be under 50 years old. So we don't have too many 50-year-olds that are willing to give $10,000 other than that one. So we do have that in the works, and we have the Irish stew coming up. We are having another gala because we've decided that, that's the only way we're gonna be able to make enough money to keep it open for the year. So we appreciate support from you guys on that. Anything else you can think of?
Yeah, like Chip said, we're up about 30%, but that's still a long ways away where we need to be. Because, $60,000 a year just to break even is a chunk. Everybody's asking for help. But that is to reiterate, that's our goal. What can we give back to the community? But before I came in there, it's really struggling. And it's a beautiful facility, but as you know, in order to upkeep a facility, it's a lot of money. You know, insurance is a big chunk of that.
Mhm.
We're just always looking at different avenues. Like I've got a comedian coming in March, just to get the people in the door. He's well known, so these ticket sales will go across the United States. So we probably won't just have New Hampton local people coming to see something new that we're gonna do. I'm just trying to get activities in there. And that's my dream, to get nonprofits in there that can do fundraisers and not have to pay us rent. They can maybe help us with the cleaning or something like that, but wouldn't that be neat? So,
Well, the pork producers helped us this last year and gave us the money from the downtown event, which was really appreciated. Cowboy Poetry next weekend is offering to give us all the proceeds from this next weekend, so they've joined us in being a partner. We got the radio station from Charles City, 95.1 The Bull has partnered with us and are doing all of our ads for us to help us promote everything that we're doing, so. Other than that, you're welcome to come down anytime and see what we're doing, and she had volunteers came and painted the main room and the hallway over the weekend, so it's getting spruced up pretty good, so, yeah.
Yeah, I'll just finish if I could. Just, the county does use the building for elections, and we thank you for that, because it does help with 6 precincts showing.
We do need you to lock in those dates though, because we are booking up.
Okay,
So
yes, I'll
as soon
have.
as you know the
I'll
dates,
let
would you
know.
let us know, so we don't screw up and have a wedding the same day as the election or something.
Yeah, should be what, June 9th and November 10th?
It's okay.
November 3rd, you got them.
Yeah, just let Janet know if you can, as soon as you can.
June and November.
Great.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Thank you guys so much.
guys.
Appreciate your time.
Yes, you too. Next one on the agenda is EMS Deputy Joel Knutson and Man Joel. You have copies for us? Okay, perfect. Department update, if there's anything new or exciting going on?
We're just working on budgets.
Thanks,
Thank you.
So revenue and expenses.
Do we have maps in our?
You should have that.
Okay, I think we have yours.
Yeah.
So starting on the expense side, building renovations with 0. Wages, we went up 4% on our wages as directed by the board, with the exception of director. In order to try to keep this as flat or within 2%, I held off on 4% for myself. I've said it before, my position doesn't matter if there isn't staff there to run it, so. Coming down, just some ones of interest. Fuels, we're under, fuel prices have been low. I've left it at 25,000 just in case fuel would end up going up. Medical and lab supplies, we are down on that year over year, and we have been, I think, thanks a lot to Carly and some of the other employees. We've certainly streamlined what we know we need to carry on our trucks and what we need to have for inventory. So that's been a huge improvement. Utility payments, natural gas, we've been lucky that the winter's been fairly mild so far. So sitting within that, EMS and postage and mailing. So we still currently are renting a PO box at the post office. Getting the insurance companies to migrate over to another location to deliver payments to has been more difficult than I anticipated it, the billing company anticipated it to be. We are apprehensive about moving that and disrupting our payments for months. So we've kind of just stayed the course. We are getting a fair amount of mail from non-bill paying sources to our mailbox, which is great. Hopefully someday we can migrate it all over to that. As far as mileage, administrator staff, that we left the same. I did decrease staff mileage down because we're just not using it. Telephone, fax, internet, you'll see a little bit of a rise in that one just because we installed the air cards in our trucks. So we have mobile internet to run our MOC system for our GPS tracking. Lodging, that stayed the same, meals stayed the same. Billing services through PCC, 55,000, we left that flat as well. A little bit more difficult to get a read on that because that used to be incorporated with data processing when we first set it up. We did get those split. We'll now see a couple of fiscal years where they are split up and we can actually be a little bit more accurate with that instead of having it all lumped together. Data processing, we put 5,000 in that. You'll notice in the year-to-date activity, we've got 6,200 in that, or used so far. We had to upgrade the laptops that we had to be MOC capable, so that was where the big share of that came from. Education and training, we did put in 15,000 for a paramedic to go to school next fiscal year. That will be reimbursed through Region 2 emergency preparedness, hopefully, but we still have to put it in. And then reimburse other Medicaid, or Medicare and Medicaid, that's just overpayments to insurance companies. Natural gas, motor vehicle maintenance. We did replace a lot of tires this current fiscal year. Shouldn't have to as much in the next. So we left that at 7,500, building maintenance 5,000, radio equipment maintenance. We had historically budgeted 7,000. I did drop that to 5,000. Just historically we haven't used it, so we did drop that a little bit. Obviously no crew rent, no ambulance garage rent. The insurances came straight from Heartland. Dues and memberships to IAMSA so that we get a discount on our medical supplies. Office equipment, I put in 500 toner and that kind of stuff for our copier. EMS furniture and appliance in case we need to replace a microwave or something. We don't anticipate. EMS equipment, I did put 50,000 back into that. If we decide to go through with an ambulance, that 50,000 would go towards the down payments on that truck in the next fiscal year. And then on the last page, the GEMT, the share that the county has to pay to get the share back for the GEMT of 25,000. We had 40,000 in there last year. Again, first year, we're getting a little better read on what we're actually going to have to pay them for our share. EMS donations, this is where I hadn't done it correctly in years past. I put something in EMS donations, 30,000 to be able to spend it should we get the grants. That 30,000, we're in the final run of getting our new ventilator funded through grants, so that'll cover that portion of it. Questions on anything you see?
What did health insurance, don't tell me the names, please, but why did you go from 21,000 up to 33,000? Now we got 3 full-time people, right?
3 full-time people with single plans.
It should be about 11,000 for the plan.
Okay. I'm just wondering why it was last year only 21. Must only have 2 last year.
We only had 2, one person in October of last year ago in October went off onto their spouse's plan.
Okay, so, okay. And then my other question is, you just copied insurance from Heartland to what the activity was. Scott, can you tell me if it went up or down, or should we check that number?
So,
Heartland went up just a little bit, but
what
No, I gave you the new one. didn't I?
you did, I went,
It's exactly the same as what you paid this
sure
year.
what EMS, because EMS was different from the regular one.
I'm just, you see my number? It's the same
I
number.
do, believe me, I think I added that one up 3 times and said, how did that happen? But when you look at the sheet that I got from Heartland, you know, our workman's comp went down a little bit. Our equipment insurance went up a little bit. The thing is, when you get the sheet from Heartland, we don't have a GL code for every single area of insurance, so some of them get added together.
Good.
And that, yeah,
So my question is, did you put a little, and I hate to use this word, but did you build up the count a little bit just in case comes back a little bit higher? Because that's a
that
guesstimate.
is a projected, yeah, I did not, I went, and that's what I've done in years past, is
And you-
what they sent us. As, you know, as you remember last year, we did get like $4,000 or $5,000 back on our workman's comp because we didn't have as much wage as what they anticipated that we would. And that typically covers, but if you,
Well, workers' comp is not gonna change at Heartland this year, so it stays the same. Next year, we'll have a new contract, so there is a potential.
yeah, when they audited at the end of
Yeah.
the fiscal year, then they
The
decided.
rate won't change, I
Right.
should say. The hours worked, that'll be your
Correct.
difference.
Correct.
So yeah, I think we need to look at that number, maybe just put a flat 34,000 in there. And
For
see
the
where it
tour?
goes. I'm just throwing that number out, I don't,
Well, I kind of
trust
like
you.
it a little bit.
I just think it needs to be, it matches, then you can't have cents either, so. We need either round up or round down.
That makes sense.
So I think if you wanna work with Sheila on getting some
I can, and we'll go. back
even
to
numbers, no cents and pennies. Any other question, board, on the
Looks
expense
good, though.
side? Yeah,
The 82.4, that would, for the director, that would be you with a 4%.
So that is what we had. I don't remember how that went though last year because it was supposed to be flat last year as well. And that's what it was put in as just staying at 80,000. And that's what I had done again this year, but I see the budget last year did reflect a 3%.
So a lot of times if you guys, like we had everything kind of set before we went through your contract too. But if something changes, you gotta submit it to me, because I can't just change your
That
numbers.
makes sense. And that's probably what happened.
Yeah, I need,
that's a 3%.
and so everybody realizes that just because something's said here, I will not change anybody's numbers unless you submit to me, because it isn't my place to change your numbers.
And maybe that's what we ended up doing.
I would like to see your budget with a raise for yourself in there, I'm gonna be honest. I've made the statement on this board that nobody wants to sit idle.
Yeah. I just, like I said, my position doesn't matter if there's nobody to work on the trucks, so. You know, if you look at the end year over year, from what we budgeted last year to what our budget would be this year, it's like $5,000 on a, minus the 30,000 of the intended grants coming in, grant going out. We did budget 1 million, almost 70,000 last year, and we ended up coming in at 912, which was good. I mean, that's what we had hoped for, to come in under. But I can look at that, when I look at the insurance stuff for you and get a updated budget one.
So my only concern will be the radio, and we dropped down and said you haven't had any problems, and I understand that, but we never know what's gonna happen.
We don't.
And I've heard that those radios that were $7,000 when we initially bought them are now closer to $10,000.
It would take having to replace a complete radio.
Yeah, and who knows what happens if we need insurance too, I don't know, but.
Yeah, so you recommend going up to 10 on the radios?
You might talk to Jeff or Ryan and just see I've been hearing that those that were $7,000 are upwards of $10,000 now, so.
I just don't care for, because if you look year over year, how much is just sad.
Well, I get that.
Good grief. But
But we don't know when one gets dropped underneath the wheel of the ambulance and.
we will know.
So then you'll come see me and then we'll talk about.
After the
it.
meeting, we'll look at the insurance just to verify that that's
Okay,
correct, and then I'll make.
because whatever they said are you gonna change like what
Yes,
Scott was talking about? Okay.
and I'll,
So anything else on expense?
Your EMS dues and membership there,
yes,
last year was $42,000.
one of the, let me find it. Here's the membership. Yeah,
Page 2.
yep, something got, I'm guessing something got identified or mislabeled on that, because our IMs and dues are $300 a year. We used to have to file for a CLIA waiver for another $100 with the state lab, we no longer do. So that was a little bit surprised on that, but that's the only memberships that I can think of, unless there was something else, unless there was something else that got added in there.
Yeah, that's insurance.
So do you have any revenue, EMS?
Yep, that was the other packet that I handed you guys.
No, this one is medical
EMS.
examiner, the 28th.
Oh, I apologize, I made a copy of the wrong one then.
Don't worry, I do things all the time.
Most likely, we're trying to put a payment in for the cities and one payment for
I'm
us.
sorry, I've got this right here, I give you the medical examiner one again, shoot, I'm
Do you
sorry.
want me to make a copy quick?
Yeah, if you would like, sorry, I made copies of the wrong one,
Okay, no problem.
too many budgets sitting on my desk.
So the number on the whiteboard to my left is our county contribution for EMS for 1 quarter. That would be the January 1st of 27 payment. That's what we're gonna figure. That's what we told the cities to figure. So at some point today, for Sheila to put that somewhere, think about it now, we'll keep asking later, where do you want that to come from? RSV, local option sales tax, just so we can get in the budget for an expense on our side. So that's a total 1 full quarter payment for next fiscal year.
Okay, here's yours.
And that comes out to roughly $140,000 for a full payment.
That's for us, yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I think that's probably what you put down for the counties, 1 quarter payment. 1 full quarter payment.
Yeah, as it broke out here, it was 70,000 roughly from
Thank you.
RSV and the other way.
So yeah, now we have a copy of the revenue for EMS department.
So at the direction of Sheila, the numbers that she gave me for the county and the cities, as you can see on there. Those are the numbers for the 1 quarter payment after January 1st. Increase of 5%. EMS, 911 calls, 30,000. I had budgeted 40,000 previous years. We just weren't quite getting there, but we were surpassing on our interfacility transports. So I just evened those up a little bit to more accurately reflect where we were.
Just to correct you, you said 30,000, I believe, but you meant 300,000.
300,000, correct, yeah. And then the community foundation or the grants, I put in 25,000 and interest. So in years prior, we had been in that $30,000 of interest. I put in 25 this year, not knowing where our pool cash is gonna sit with, if you guys on the 19th will elect to take a full payment, a half payment, quarter payment, or what you'll end up taking in the next budget year. And that's what affects our interest is so much.
On the community foundation grant, you applied for it or not received it yet?
So this is where all of our grants live.
Okay.
It says community foundation grant, but it's our grants, it's, our Region 2 grants, any other grants that we apply for. So,
Gotcha.
and that's kind of always a moving mark because we're continually applying for them. So.
Thinking about that, did you put anything in for that special cash pool for donations to expense anything out of it?
Did 30,000.
Okay.
Yeah, 30,000.
Perfect. Any questions on the revenue EMS side?
Joe, can I ask you a favor? Will you,
Yeah.
get Donna in here? Could you ask Donna to make a copy of your revenue? Cause I just made enough copies for the Board of Supervisors and I forgot myself.
Oh, sure, yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
So yeah, I guess if there's no other questions for Joel, now would be a good time to figure out where we wanna put. He just took it divided by half, it looks like. So do you guys want half to be budgeted then from RSB and half from local option sales tax?
We've got 221,702 kind of government right now. How much do we get every month? Is it average?
It's probably about 9,000-10,000 for county betterment.
So yeah, my only discussion is, remember, when Chad gets up here to talk about potential capital project for a building, we can do it this way for now. I'm wondering where our ending fund balance is too for RSB. Once we see secondary roads budget next week now. To be safe, 50-50 might be good.
I guess I didn't even think about it. I just put it in here.
So, yeah, we need to,
Sorry.
we need to let you know where you guys want that 141 to come out of for our share of the full quarter payment. Steve, I didn't mean to cut you off, but did you 50-50 look good? There should be more coming out of RSB.
No, I mean, if anything, I'd say I saw RSB, but I guess I'm okay with that 50-50.
Yeah, 50. No, you're right. So yes, the pool cash for that is, let's finish with this conversation. The only one coming out would be another $3,000 for that dock, for the county conservation. So we got, where's local option change?
25.
So it currently sits there, we have not got the January payments, so just say we got 6 more payments, and just go like 9,000 times 6
454.
is 54,000 yet to be added this fiscal year.
So we're up
So that'll go,
275.
yeah, 275 minus around 3,000 for the dock at Howard Woods. So at the end of June, with no other request, 272 will be in that pool cash. That doesn't even talk about next fiscal year revenue from that local option sales tax, right? So just say currently the ending fund balance for that would be 265,000. Could it take half? Yeah, easily.
Yeah.
But if there's another project that we'll be discussing in a little bit here, awesome. I didn't hear from you two. You guys okay with that?
Yeah, what happened?
So 50-50 with rural services
And the other half.
and betterment
Kind of better than-
for EMS, quarter payment.
Yes. Anything else for Joel then? You did your EMA last week. MEI, sorry.
Last week.
right?
And then-
I'll quote you, I'll send you the easiest one first.
Yeah, I apologize.
No, you're fine, you're fine.
I'm glad I brought the other one with me because I thought you'd have questions on it.
But do you mind signing
Yep,
that?
I'll do that right now.
Thank you.
Thanks, Joel.
Sorry about that. I'm sorry.
All right, next thing on the agenda is Treasurer Matt Eisner. Good morning, Matt.
Good morning.
Approve the semi-annual report. Did you guys all get a copy of that? Did you send that one over?
I think I sent it over to you guys, didn't I? Cause it would have been separate.
Yeah, you guys got a copy. I don't know, because it came in an
It should
email
have
about 2
been.
weeks ago.
Second one, maybe?
Here's a paper copy if you want to share.
Did you get a copy of this? The treasurer report?
I think I'm not, yeah,
Cause there should have been two reports there.
I
You do have it?
I got it, yeah.
Yeah, okay. If he's got it, then
Yeah, I'm good.
so this is the one I need to have. But I'm gonna need your signature on this, Matt, though, when you get a second.
Yeah. Any questions with the semi-annual report that ended 12/31/2025? Any big surprises, Matt, or questions you can share, or any?
I just kind of compared it to last year, and I know our ending balance was, last year was like 13,541,564 is what I jotted down December 31st of 2024, so we're sitting better this year, as far as that goes anyway.
Is there a motion to approve the county treasurer semi-annual report ending December 31st, 2025? Is there a second?
Second.
That was to approve and publish, right, Matt? Iceberg?
Yep.
Yep, Travis, okay. Just so you guys understand, this report does get published in the local paper. Any discussion on the semi-annual report ending December 31st, 25? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, anybody opposed? Motion is carried.
Okay, so I'll need a signature from you and then Wilson, okay? I'll come down and get it after.
We got a stack one too. Department update, anything new, exciting now?
January 20th, the state goes live with the online appointment system, so we got the kiosk installed down on the lower level. So people will be able to go in and make appointments right on there. So, I mean, we kind of are able to do a few walk-ins here and there, but, I know we've been booked pretty solid because Floyd County has been closed now going on 3 or 4 weeks. And they're probably another 2 or 3 weeks away from being operational again. They had a retirement, and so had the new staff member hired, trained, and she came over and observed Kylie for a couple days last week. So, yeah, that's been keeping things pretty booked as far as that goes, but.
Is that the only way to register them for an appointment? Or they still call the office?
If they call, we'll probably ask them to go on. That's kind of the way the state's moving for those things. But yeah, I mean, we can go in and put them down too if needed.
Are we gonna put a link on our county website under the treasurer's page? Could we put a link
Yeah, we will, yeah, once it
after the 20th?
yeah. But I was in, Ankeny on Friday, we just kind of did some general training on it, and Kylie and I and Trish have been doing some training classes, and they just released a bunch more today, so that's kind of the last group of them, so. We'll see how it goes. I know some of the counties kind of backed out as far as going to the online system. I don't know which ones or anything, but, so I think we're pretty unified and had most of the counties in the state, and obviously, and now I don't know what that's gonna look like. It's probably just kind of wait and see the 20th, what it looks like.
All right, any questions? If not, then the next thing is the budget review for fiscal year 26-27. It is up on the screen also.
Though, I guess for our department, the only thing, I put in the 4%, for Amy and I did $1.50 an hour for the clerks. And then, everything else was pretty much the same. I guess one ask that I do have, more of a want than a need, I guess, at this point, but at some point I would like to update the furniture in the treasurer's office. I got some quotes from Office World. It's pretty much gonna be about $1,000 a station. And then there's gonna be, so I figured there's 5 spots, 3 out front, 2 in the back. And then there's just some extra furniture to replace some file cabinets, which we're getting cleared out and items scanned. So at some point when it allows, I would like to upgrade that. So I did put that in along with the raises. Everything else is pretty much, or was the exact same that I had the year before. Revenues, I increased some of the interest amounts because the interest rates went down a little, but nothing really significant. You know, try to be somewhat careful on those because you keep hearing the want to lower the interest rates, and that hasn't like necessarily translated to actually happening yet. So, but I think as far as like revenue, that's been trending up pretty well. I think I had about 600,000 for revenue for next year, a little over. So then we're looking good at like on interest and everything for this current year. So we're pretty close to meeting some of those numbers. As far as revenue too, the motor vehicle, we got our first full calendar year now since the fees were increased. So that brought 80 for the calendar year 2025, that brought another 86,000 from the state for motor vehicle fees in. And then driver's license was down about 5,000. So we made, motor vehicle more than made up for that decrease there, but we also had basically no appointments for 6 or 7 weeks. So if we had that time, we'd probably be real close to where we were the prior year on that. So, but yeah, pretty straightforward, just pretty much the postage and a few mileage, lodging, meals, that sort of thing for meetings.
So could I ask a question? If you budgeted a total of $487,750, and we're year-to-date $395,506, how much more do you think you're gonna bring in the next 6 months?
That was the same question. Could you get a better snap? Because this report was printed.
I had the one I used, I had them go through the end
Oh,
of
yeah,
the
we
year.
went through it again.
So that way, because I think some of them were probably end of November, but we have a big motor vehicle month in December with commercial vehicles, so I wanted to get that.
Yeah, so we were.
So I got a better, because all of that's pretty, the fees are all new, so I wanted to kind of see where they landed, but.
But see, I go another step further and look at your last page. First, what's the escrow deposits of a negative 12,000? Why is that number negative?
Well, those are deposits that would come in, people paying ahead.
Okay.
So those monies sit, and then when we apply it to taxes, then that becomes a negative number.
So then if you add up your general basic and your other 90,000.
But that's Fund 5090, so that's tax reductions and owner's liens.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to Sheila's comment. I think it'll be a lot higher than the 487.
Oh, yeah, we're getting close there, so,
As long as we have 6 months to go.
yeah. But like I said, our ending balance is about $1 million higher than it was last year, so.
I just think we all need to do a little bit better on revenue.
That's what caught us last time. So, yeah, maybe we can work together, and when I'm doing the cash statement, we can kind of figure out what you think's gonna be coming in.
Yeah, I mean, as long as I have a better idea what our balances are gonna be, but I don't know when other departments are gonna spend their money or, like I said, we
I'm
have-
just looking at the interest.
right,
You know, cause they,
but interest determined, we have to figure, I have to know how much money we're gonna have. And if we're $1 million ahead of where we were last year, and we thought we were gonna be worse off this year,
Yes, it's all a big piece of pie.
so, I mean, those are really big. When you're earning interest on $14 million approximately, I mean, if it's 13 million or 15 million, like, and the federal government keeps saying we're gonna cut interest rates, that hasn't really happened to the extent I think that they wanted it to, so it's just,
came
I'd
in,
rather be low on the estimations.
And we can look into where we at for property tax receipts for the March 31st deadline. Are we still at like 48% to be collected yet? At one time I thought it was about 48% yet to be collected.
Yeah, a lot of people, well, not a lot, but we get a decent amount for not really having them due until March, like at the end of the year, people just trying to, you know, have another expense or something at the end of the year, so.
I just
We
don't
were
see
probably like more around like 45.
now.
But yeah, I mean, the interest is just, it's hard to,
right, well, and I could do the departments first and figure out what, how much they think they're gonna get back, and then you'll have an idea what the,
yeah. Yeah, cause $1 million makes,
yeah. Yep. So, yeah, good job.
Any questions on the expense revenues, anything with the treasurer's office budget request?
I guess it's a good problem to have, but yeah, I'd like to, it's probably one of those things, yeah, where we just need to maybe reevaluate where we are like quarterly on it.
Get in the budget.
Yeah, if that's something,
Yeah, I think we need
it's
to
just,
account for the revenues a little bit better.
because if we have like, I mean, a natural disaster or something, have to spend a bunch of money or
Right, exactly.
it's just, yeah, it's probably good to reevaluate it maybe.
It was the old school thought not to worry about the revenues, because when I first came on board, I was told, don't worry about the revenues, you always worry about the expenditures. Well, now that's turned around, that's not true. So we gotta watch them both.
Yeah, because if you look back to like where interest was 23, 24 even, I mean, those numbers were,
Quite a bit lower.
yeah, because I think we were coming off 1% deposit rates and everything, and now, you know, we're up closer to 4, so.
All right, is there any other questions? If not, thank you, Matt.
Thank you.
Next thing is Conservation Director Chad Humble. Good morning, Chad.
Good morning.
First thing on the agenda is to discuss and adopt resolution 1/1226-03, accepting a gift from Deborah D. Wow, Dual, in the amount of $8,000. So yes, the county attorney's office in Chad, we've been talking about this for about 6 months now. Do we have a copy of that resolution?
Did I put one in you guys' thing? Because I didn't even run, or I forgot.
Any other exciting news about this, Chad, as the donation here?
Yeah, no, family's still excited when I, dealt with all that stuff and talked to them here first of the year, so, I think we should be good to go. I'll deposit the check on my way out the door here, so.
Do we know we're gonna put that just for discussion, and then where the new dock's gonna
I
be?
think
It's in here?
Yeah, so we ended up going into the conservation, our land acquisition, county, our capital projects, what I call the reserve, whatever you wanna call it. I thought it'd be cleaner to keep it in your guys' hands originally, but then it, didn't make sense anyplace, I guess, so we'll just run it in there, because I think the balance is coming out of county betterment.
Yep.
So I'll just have, when my board approves their end of it, I'll just bring those claims up then, and then turn that all into you guys to approve whatever the rest of it, so.
Sounds good. Any discussion on resolution 3? If not, is there a motion to adopt resolution 3?
I'll move it. Second.
Motion by Isaac, second by Steve, to approve resolution 0112-26-03, a resolution accepting a gift from the Deborah Dole in the amount of $8,000. Any discussion? Otherwise, on behalf of Chickasaw County, we appreciate this. It just helps with the bottom line, and not broadcasting that we need donations, but anytime a citizen wants to donate, it's an honor to receive it. It's always put to good cause, so. If you can relay that to the family, we do appreciate it. And,
Yeah, we'll do. Again, I mean, if anybody read my article in the newsletter this past winter, I mean, we had a lot of people reach out and a lot of donations, so I mean, that was exciting to us as a department, that people are buying into what we're doing and they trust us with some funding there, so yes, that was nice, so I will definitely thank them again.
All right. Any other discussion? If not, we'll do a roll call. Isaac?
Aye.
Steve?
Aye.
Scott?
Aye.
Travis?
Aye.
Jake, aye. Resolution is adopted. Again, thank you to the family.
That's what I'm saying.
We got 2 of them here.
There should be one over here.
Over here.
Perfect.
Do you need one for your office?
No.
Okay.
I didn't think over the flag.
Any department update, Chad, that you have or?
So yeah, real quickly, last week we were, informed that we were awarded, $81,280 for that, Iowa Forestry Resiliency Partnership Grant. Just give that to David here to look at a little bit. So it's federal money. I was telling David, it's federal money that's handed out by the state, given to the county. So by the time I'm done with this project, I probably won't have any here left. That's not great. But anyways, it's gonna be a good thing. And then I actually have a meeting with the Wildlife Habitat Stamp Committee to try and get the balance that last 19,000. So hopefully at the end of the day, we'll have about $105,000 to do some timber stand improvements and some forest work here in the county. So that will maybe come into after I submitted my budgets, how we want to put that in there, because it's reimbursement grant. If you remember, I talked to you guys about before I submitted about maybe, I don't want to say loans, probably not the proper word, but whatever, we'll put some money in an account someplace, and then as I get those grants back in, then I'll just put it back into the general basic account. So I'll talk with Sheila some more on that as we get further into the budget process, but hopefully have that all kind of streamlined and not need a budget amendment on that if we can get that all approved. But if you see all of a sudden $100,000 that wasn't in my budget before, that's where that's coming from. But again, it's reimbursement. So the other thing, pickup truck, you want me to throw that out? You want to chew on that?
No, you can throw that out. Yeah.
So, Dave Gorman looked at our, 2012 pickup truck, that's got 145,000 miles on it that we're wanting to get replaced. Again, he thought he might be able to get a few years out of that. I think he had looked at some vehicles.
Yeah.
So, gotcha.
So just to recap, yes, I took Dave out to Twin Ponds last week sometime. I snapped some pictures for the board. This is the one that Chad talked about last year to trade in or get rid of. It was pretty much Brian Moore's truck, and then it went down to, Matt. The inside, once a little bit of cleaning's done, I think the inside's perfect.
Yeah.
There is a little bit of concern down here at the, bottom panel above the,
Yeah, and the rocker panel there, but I think just.
on both sides. Otherwise, Dave is very excited to take this truck over for the county, custodian department. We have to talk with the private auditor, see how we transfer a general basic fund to another general basic fund, or is it a swap? You did get a quote on this
So I did get a quote then, I had.
last year. No, on this truck. Any value on this truck that you can think of?
So the value on this pickup truck that they just threw at me roughly last year when I was talking about it was like $500 or $5,500.
Correct.
And they really didn't want it. So they thought we'd be better off just selling it outright ourselves anyway, so. And again, I don't care how that works, whatever's legal, whatever
Correct.
the auditor says is.
Dave was really excited about the bed. There's no really bad issues with the bed. The tailgate matches the rest of the truck.
I mean, it's not perfect, obviously, right? It's a 2012 with 140 some thousand miles on it, but I mean, putzing around town here, I think we'll do fine, so.
So yeah, we'll talk about this tomorrow, or sorry, next week now with Dave Gorman, but this is what we are talking about. So Chad did then go out and look for some quotes for a new truck.
So yeah, I don't know if I had sent those, but anyways, on a new vehicle, just a half-ton work truck, Chevy through Vern's, the state bid, was gonna be just right under 45,000, 44,971.50. And again, it's plain Jane, I've got the specs, and Jake's got a copy.
Yeah, I got
as well.
I didn't know.
But that's where we're at anyways to replace that if we wanna jockey those things around between those two departments, but.
Just to clarify, that is not in your budget presentation.
This is not in my budget presentation, no, because we've been.
It just came up.
Yeah, well, no, it's not in, whether there's a budget amendment this year, next year, however we look at that, but this is not in, and again, they said it'd be about 12 weeks out right now if we were to order something, so that's kind of where that's at as far as department head, but if you want more numbers or anything, let me know.
Just so then we'll have, future discussions if that should be counted. Better be fund. And fund balance funds. Can Matt still use that truck today? Yes. But can we do something now to get it purchased?
It's just, right, when I first started, and again, we've all been there, right, where you try and stretch these things out, and we got into where we had a truck, I can't remember what it was, our Ford diesel, we, blew a cylinder out of that, and then, we had another one break down, and it's just because we were trying to Band-Aid everything together, and it just got to the point where maintenance-wise was costing us more than, than what we should be spending, so it's kind of time to get that one. That would put us with a 15, a 17, a 20, and then a 26. But again, I mean, you start talking about a 15 pickup truck that we pull a skid loader or mower. It's got a trailer every day on gravel road. I mean, so it's different miles than what I get, well, we need 200,000 on. But we use those two trucks specifically a little bit harder. So it's like, I don't want to get behind the 8 ball, I guess, is what I'm getting at here as well. So it's probably time to get that one taken care of, so.
Yep, this is just discussion, this is nothing set in stone, so.
Yep.
If there's no other questions about the truck, either this fiscal year, budget amendment, or next year,
Yeah, it's not in my budget anyplace, so this one, nor the one I'm about to go over, so.
So yeah, we all got this, this has been approved by your board on Tuesday night or not?
Yep. So which one are you looking at here, the big one, the
big one,
expenses?
Yep.
All right, Sheila took off, you may have waited a minute.
She's gonna get a copy of the landfill budget.
Okay,
But
and I didn't.
no, I know,
She sends me that one and I usually just,
defer back to us.
yeah, I think, I mean, if you guys have a question, I think I may have been asked a question or two on that, but that's.
So they're gonna print that off, but you can go ahead and explain your budget.
Okay, so the board kind of went through, our first, what was that, early December department head meeting, 2% budget increase, with our insurance rates. So we basically went through and at that time then had figured, our budget, it came out to be like a 3% salary increase at that time to maintain our 2% increase, if that makes sense. And then I'll go through these here line item by whatever we need to here real briefly. So then after the whole discussion on wages, kind of came back and looked at it again, okay, so then it was 4% increase. So if you look at our budget and you go with a 4% increase or the $1.50, right? Those are the two numbers that I keep hearing tossed around now. So they looked at my wage, basically a 4% and a $1.50 was like even money. And I think for a $1.50 raise, I'd get $38 more a year. So looking back then and again discussing with my guys, and I'll just give you these here. I kept it pretty simple this year. I just broke it down, the 5 counties above, the 5 counties below, and then I'll get you here.
Thank you.
And then the 7 surrounding are the two that the two kind of the main ones I like to look at. So again, numbers wise, if you just look at the directors for the 5 above, about 1,600 below average. Naturalist is 11 below average, and then my 2 maintenance guys are about 5,300 below average. If you go to the 7 surrounding, there's that 3,300 below. Our one area that we are above average would be our naturalist position for the 7 surrounding, and then again, you look at my maintenance guys for the 7 surrounding. My next thing that the board looks at, and then again, I'm not here to argue, anybody's any better than anybody else in the county, because I think if anybody's heard me talk, I believe we got a lot of great people that work for this county and live in this county. So then I also look at staff and where do we sit for like secondary roads people, right? So secondary roads, if we were to go with the $1.50 with my guys, there's still a pretty significant difference gap in pay between what Caleb and Justin are at compared to where they'll be at July 1 with their 4% increase. And I think those are very similar positions. Some, cross-training. My guys very cross-trained as well. I might pull Caleb or Justin out of a skid loader one day to have them do an archery or fishing program one day. So they're all very flexible. Matt's kind of the same way. We've had to ask more maintenance stuff out of him with the reduction of the summer help. And then also with that reduction of the summer help, we've had to stay on things pretty good. So I thought the guys did a really good job this year, but they're still like a $1.90 difference there at the end of the day on that one. So I just, we look at that for discussion as well. So at the end of the day, 4% doesn't really affect myself, but it does my 3 staff members. So the board went with the $1.50. So that's basically a 4% for me. It's a 5. I know everybody likes percentages. It's about a 5.4 for Matt and about a 5.8 for Caleb and Justin if you want to run percentage numbers. Percentage numbers get scary, obviously, like you guys decide, right? I mean, if you talk about 50 people, I mean, you can't even buy a soda anymore for $1.50. But then if you look at your guys's, and you put that in a percentage, then people start getting, So anyways, that's where the numbers are. That's how the board and I came to those numbers. That's where we're at on that. Basically, the reason to discuss that is if you go to our budget, it's pretty much chalk. There's 2 line items we reduced, and I can buzz through those quick. Other than wages, FICA, IPERS, and insurance, nothing else went up for the season. So again, everything's the same. If you go to 46,610, that's the Wapsie Pennington River sampling. There was $400 in there the last 2 years. We used to have that in there. We would pay for shipping UPS to ship those packages. We haven't had to do that the last couple years, so that is one we could take out. I would, when you guys get to that part of the budget, I think Steve, you sit on that committee, we actually host that meeting usually once every other time. It's either in Buchanan County or in Chickasaw County, so we're pretty active. Steve is usually there at those meetings, so I do feel like that's a good program going on. So this is just my little plug for them when you get to their line item in the general budget, because we did reduce that 400 out of ours. Then you go along, I will say, if there's any outside discussion, the board did have some discussion about putting summer help back into there. We did not. That's kind of a couple-year process now, we feel, at this point in time, because our summer help, obviously, like everything else, is paid out of 2 different budgets. So if we have 0 in there at this point in time, we can't really hire anybody till July 1 if we were to put even into this budget, if that makes sense. So if you get to the end of the day, and there's anything, or things are looking well and want to have me back in and talk about summer position, I'd be happy to do that, but I wanted to bring that up. And then also one that I missed last year, and this one's on me, if you go down to 29,403, we have $300 budgeted in there for clothing allowance for our part-time individual. Well, we don't have a part-time help, we obviously don't need to buy them any t-shirts to identify themselves. So took that out, and at the end of the day, that got us at that 2% when we had that discussion early on. Let's see. So we're right now with that $1.50, we end up at $495,000. The one thing I don't like about these budget printouts is it doesn't just give me general basic and general supplemental. It's all that other stuff in there. So
You gotta go to the last page.
I could,
well, yeah, but even then it throws in like, and I'll
if you
go
want,
over.
I could run it.
I'll go over those other 2 here in a minute, because that's what sometimes my budget looks extremely inflated when some of those other
Mhm.
separate accounts are in there that get used or don't get used, but I get hammered on that. But the other thing I wanted to point out is that would put us at $495,492. So we are up a little bit, but that's still basically our 24-25 budget. We're $200 under that. So on a 2-year budget cycle, we're still basically a budget freeze with that. So that's my, I think that's my last plug I wanted to put in for the board.
Yeah, so that's GBGS.
That's just GBGS, right? And then there'll be that, that $100,000 that we'll put in there someplace. But again, that's just kind of trading money back and forth. And the other thing, one other thing, to go from the 4% to the $1.50 for the guys, it was.
So actually, Chad, if I use your total amounts, you're still below your 2%. Even if I bring in Twin Ponds, REAP and all that stuff.
I know, but
I'm just-
I'm just here to tell you that I could make those numbers look really good. Right? Because I could have 25,000 sitting in an account that I don't plan on using, and I could budget it or not budget it and make my overall look 25 grand cheaper and inflate the GBGS. So that's why I just look.
Next time, just ask me and I'll just do GB and GS.
And again, I'm fine from the accounting standpoint. It's just when I'm talking with you guys, I just want a straight GBGS, because I think that's what the taxpayers, those are tax dollars, right? So to speak, property tax. Some of those other ones are grants and some of that stuff that aren't in those categories. So, but anyways, the last caveat there is from 4% to the $1.50 is $32.67. So just about $3,300 difference in my budget. And that's basically the increase. So, questions on that? Anything you want me to go into deeper, explain, or you want to yell at me about?
No.
You want to yell at anything?
So just a line again, no equipment. I mean, you have some in there for equipment, but no skid loader, no truck.
So that equipment line item is our $2,500 tractor lease that we get every year. So that's basically gone. I have nothing budgeted in there for equipment. Again, we feel like if we were to get through a pickup truck, that would be kind of this step. I do know that, our skid loader, I don't remember for sure if that's a 20, I'd have to look at 2015 as well, maybe a 17. But, that, again, next to our mowers, that's kind of our bread and butter thing. That one makes me nervous because we all know that's gonna be a pretty heavy lift coming out of my budget to upgrade a skid loader. But that would be probably the next big thing coming down the road next year. I would be in here. If I can get through a pickup or a vehicle this year, that would probably be the top of my list, to give you an idea where we'd be at equipment wise. We're in pretty good shape. Caleb's done a good job with some grant writing. So again, we're trying to keep things freshened up so we don't get caught, so to speak, with that.
On your revenue side, I had one question wrote down.
On the revenue,
I'm trying to find it here again. It's about the timber. There was nothing in there. Are we gonna get any more revenue from the timber?
so that should be all done. The timber sale is all done and that should be in there.
As of
20
25, 26, because you didn't put anything in there for 26, 27, correct?
correct.
Okay.
So up there at 17,705 is, that's it coming in then?
No, there should be more in there. I have 24,705 in mind.
Oh, this was, yeah, but this was still ran January 8th.
You got a donation of 7,000.
Is that what was that misplaced? That 7,000? Do you see that?
It's on page 104, the revenue. Land acquisition development. Timber harvest was 17,705. I thought it was more too, that's why I'm trying to figure out, do we need it next year or?
I'm just trying to think if we had. I would have to go back and look because the original timber harvest, that original sale, they had to cut us a check immediately. So I wonder if that would have been in last year's budget, if that would have been, I would have received that before.
You might have
July
5,900. You see that one back
Yeah.
last year's?
Yep, that would be that 5,900 would have
Yeah,
been
and
last
that
year's.
plus the 17.
And then the
would be
17,
24.
that would have been the 24.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yes, that's how that would have worked.
So here we go again, we didn't have that in the revenue side, that's where we get check marked.
Right.
We didn't have that in revenue.
So Sheila and I always have good discussion on revenue because again, I'm the opposite. I know what, after last season and why the revenue's a big thing, but I get nervous about budgeting interest because if it doesn't happen, you know what I mean? So I'm always a little reserved at budgeting too big of numbers on those.
But we can't have a negative like when I do the dome. So if you're gonna budget to expense something, I need that revenue to come in to match it.
So if I have a budget of something going out, I usually have something coming in. But like this forest resiliency grant, I don't wanna budget $100,000 and then I don't get it. And then now we have this, I'm gonna spend 100 and get 100. So you see what I'm saying? I think that'll cause more problems than looking at coming back at it later on.
And with the budget amendments, we can add the 100,000 revenue and then the expenditure too.
Right, which is how I would prefer to do that. Like I said, because I have nothing budgeted in here for that 100,000. We're
Right.
going to now because we've already got 81 of it. But prior to that, it's like in some of these grant cycles, and then by the time I get everything approved, I might have missed a whole budget.
So will that be
cycle before.
fiscal year 25, 26 then? That our next budget amendment, will we put that 81 in there?
No, I'm gonna see because I don't know that we'll get around to it. I need to get that figured out, right? So,
Yeah, but we'll bring it in as revenue though, right?
no, because it's gonna be reimbursement.
Oh, it's reimbursement, you gotta spend the money.
I gotta spend it
you receive
before I can get it back, yes.
Okay.
So, but we'll put something in there, which is why I'm hoping to hold off until July 1 to get that work done and then get it done next fall, winter, spring. And then I can get it budgeted here quick, hopefully, and then we won't have to deal with that part of it. Does that make sense?
Mhm. And The public health has programs like that, and so does secondary roads, so.
Right. So that's why some of that grant stuff can be kind of interesting.
On the revenue side too, on campground airport. I don't know what would have happened, but you already brought in 35,000 for the year.
Correct,
So we need to raise that revenue up.
So we discussed that. A couple years ago, I wanted to raise it more, and my board talked me out of raising it more because they felt like, so my one concern there is I think we potentially could, again, we don't want to get to where we are budgeting more than we're bringing in, because I don't want to screw up the budget worse that way.
Correct.
But we're on a bit of a downhill cycle here, and that's kind of statewide, whether it's county parks or state parks. So I think we peaked at 106,000, we were down to just over 100,000, and last year we were at about 95,000 in park revenue. So still considerably better than or more than what we've got, but.
We just have to remember though, when we get audited, we gotta get our revenues a little bit closer, I feel. I mean, so look at example, total activity for 24-25 is 111,000. And on paper, we only said 59,000 is coming in.
Actually, I think this was one that so they look at a 20% deviation
Sure.
Yeah.
on either side.
Right, but again, this one is, I mean, I get that, but a $15,000 grant going in there blows that out of the water.
And that's why we have to do budget amendments.
That's why if we're better with our budget amendments and reporting the revenues.
Correct.
Well, should we be doing the budget amendment at that time on our campground revenue? As we get deeper into the cycle, we've got a better idea. Like this last one coming up, should we add that to that budget amendment to clean that up?
I think so.
I'd be fine with it.
I mean, and that would make me and myself and my board, I think, much more comfortable. It's still part of the planning phase, but if that, I don't want to be throwing up
Probably
red
make
flags.
the private auditor a little bit better.
If our private auditor is happy with that.
They just need to look, and I told them that we're very conservative and everything.
Right, and again, like, I hate budgeting. I mean, I would get nervous on, running a budget off of projected interest. Like we said, I mean, that can all go out the window in a couple days. It's like, so.
What's the purpose of a private audit? To make sure we're not misallocating funds, or, I mean, I guess, I don't mean to get into this discussion.
No, I know.
But what difference does it make that we underestimate revenue? I mean, that seems like an internal issue more than it would be something that would be
Yeah, the audit report.
illegal or untoward or some sort of other word that we can use.
Sheila, can you explain? They've been here for a long time, last 2 weeks, but you can't, it's not been released yet.
Well,
So
and,
what are they questioning
well,
now
they just
in
question,
general?
any expenditure. Like if I say I'm gonna build a bridge and I'm gonna do $1.2 million, but then I don't build the bridge, why did I budget for it? But you know how timing is. So, but they look at like a 20% deviation on either side, whether it's expenditures or revenues, and they wanna know, they just kinda, well, why, cause.
It's gonna be in their report, right? Why did we have so much of a healthy ending fund balance? What got missed? And I think they're trying to figure out if it was revenue or expense.
No, they do that every year. It's a deviation.
But I
I've
think
been doing it every
the
year.
gap is
Well,
actually
yeah.
huge.
They wanna know what the gaps are all about, yeah.
I mean, I would just flat out tell them, because I think we did a phenomenal job, and it wasn't easy, but we cleaned up the budget last year. I mean, let's get honest here, right? I mean, you don't see that in numbers. That's not on a number sheet or a spreadsheet, but there was some discussion, right? Like.
I'm gonna stay out, but I already asked you a question.
I know, you just kicked
The
over.
whole process
But yes,
raises eyebrows for me, but I'm done talking.
so I guess if we would like to have a budget amendment on the income later on, I'm fine with that. It makes my life easier not having to try and project those numbers. And if we get some grants and stuff like that, hopefully, right? So,
Yeah, cause if they do another one in March, we're gonna know pretty much where it's all at.
because I budgeted for like a $15,000 grant before, thinking I was, a shoo-in, and then I didn't get it. And then now I'm sitting here like, oh, where am I
We
gonna
got
tell Sheila?
We got
I
a
need
$20 million
$15,000?
budget, 15,000 isn't really that.
Well, that's what I'm looking at.
That
My
doesn't
budget
even
is-
hit my deviation.
Right, it is in mine, but anyways,
Any questions on the revenue side for county conservation?
Thank you.
nope, that's good.
Any questions on the county conservation budget approved by them to be sent to us? I think here we go again, we will add it to our GBGS mechanism, and at this time, we're not gonna recommend anything. But that is the highest budget that you gave us by January 15th.
Yeah, right, absolutely, right, so I mean,
If we wanna add capital projects to it or use county betterment funds to purchase a truck, that is yet to be determined.
yeah, or I know we've had some discussion on,
Shed.
start on a shop or a shed, storage shed, however you want to call that, but that is general basic. And then I don't know if you want me to run through real quick, like our land acquisition and development, we have 25,000 in there, that's one that we're probably gonna have to increase. Now that I'm thinking about it, I might have to look at that too and talk with you, Sheila, on that dock for Howard Woods, now that I'm gonna run that $8,000 or $8,000 in and back out of there, I'm probably gonna have to have a budget amendment on both sides of that one.
Well, I think
Right,
we
because I
already,
wasn't anticipating,
To use that fund.
right,
no, but we did on the betterment, didn't we do the
The
whole?
betterment's fine,
the betterment's.
Yeah, but we did the whole amount.
we did,
Yeah.
but he's talking about now,
Yeah.
Did then my 8,000, that's gonna run through there, so anyways, I'll.
so he doesn't have the appropriation.
Yeah, I agree.
So yeah, that'll be in the February, March.
I'll have to look at that one. So again, when the board looks at these, we just kind of have a stamp, we just budget, and these are separate accounts, like the bypass basin, where we have 75,000 budgeted there. You can see we spent 4,800 roughly in 24, 25, we're at 1,200 for this season. But we're kind of sitting on that money, and I know this is one I think I get pegged on as well, but I'm still waiting for that pipeline to see what they're gonna do. So we have 25 in that. The Twin Ponds Nature Center, we're in the process of upgrading some of our displays and facilities, so we're hoping to spend about 10,000 of that this year. So we got about another 15 budgeted for next year to try and see if we're going to clean that one up.
So they have 30,000 budgeted in here. In expense.
Yep.
So isn't it already budgeted?
Yeah, it's,
Might be.
yeah,
We'll look at it, clean it up. So our Schroeder, stewardship fund, same thing. We budgeted $1,200 for that one. Our Saudi farm fund, 2,100, those are just kind of status quo. We don't have anything planned, but we budgeted.
Yep.
So if something comes up, we've got that available. Our REAP account, we have 50,000 budgeted for next season. Again, nothing set in stone at this point in time. And then the last one that I have is the weed commissioner, and I just kept that all the same. I think everything's kind of status quo on that budget, which is $970.
So I had asked, are you done?
Unless anybody has any questions, that should be all the budgets that I get to. Uh-oh, what are you smiling at?
landfill.
Well, I asked him about the landfill one, and he said, this is the one that you guys help him with, so I brought you guys a landfill budget, so you guys can help.
Yeah, that
Go
one,
through it all.
either way.
Is that whole
Is there an
package?
extra one there? I thought I made one for Dave. Here's the revenue. You got an extra one, anyone?
I'll give you one, everybody else for here.
You don't wanna help? Okay.
There's something illegal, I don't need to be involved. My daughter's gonna scoop that right up, so.
Okay, so, everybody got their paperwork?
And the expense. You got an extra revenue one?
Oh, I do. Here's the revenue, and here-
So the expense side looks like, you didn't put nothing in here? Yeah, this is just brand new documents.
these are brand new documents, so,
For covered rock, put the same 5,000.
Yeah, I mean,
Driveways,
the driveway's getting a little beat up. It might be time to put a few loads on that, but again,
engineers investigations, soil, we had 20,000 current year. didn't use any of it. Are we gonna have to go out to anybody else to get the covenant done? It's pretty much done.
I mean, I think so, and depending on where we're at next, I mean, I don't know that we're gonna get to it this year yet, I don't know. We haven't discussed if we'll have enough data to go after 1 year. I'm suspecting they're probably gonna wanna do this sampling for another season, because we haven't even gotten through it for a full year. So to be safe, I would say, until we get that locked in, I would keep that maybe up there a little bit, just to make sure that we don't need another engineering.
Remind you guys, this is not GBGS, this is a restricted fund, and the current balance is $338,000. Remember, we passed a resolution to take it from 500 down to 300, so we still have 38,000 to spend before we have to revisit that resolution or backfill it with GB or RSV funds. So 338, the current budget this year is 106. Do you guys want it to keep it at 106? I don't think we need that much in engineers, soil investigations.
Drop that to 10.
I think 10 would be easily, again, this is restricted, we can only use the fund that's in there right now, 338.
Even like your line item on the news for other study.
65 grand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how we'd ever spend 106,000 unless you got into something, and then you're probably gonna have to dig into the bigger pot at the end of the day anyway, right? So
we're gonna go with that, so 5,000 for the first one, 10,000, okay with the second one. 65,000 for other studies, needs, consultation. Current year, we only used 728.
yeah, so I don't know how those get billed, but is that coming out of the landfill contract, that 15,000 on the bottom? When I turn in those engineering reports every month?
The landfill contract is the leachate hauling and,
Okay.
yeah, electricity is above. So a lot of it comes out of landfill contract.
So keep that at 15. Is that
And the
right?
bottom one at 15, 1,000 for electricity for that yard light.
And what would you like for,
What do you guys want for other studies, needs, consultation? 25?
I'd say a little more than, I mean, it's restricted funds, so it really doesn't really make any difference if we over budget, because it gives us the ability to.
Without a budget amendment. It gives the appropriation.
so you want 65?
You're never gonna 50, you're never gonna use it. I don't
Right.
think, I mean, we had it pretty much granted, except for monitoring leachate.
Yeah, no, I think we're in the covenant. My understanding is we're just trying to get out of the leachate sample.
Exactly.
So, I mean, so we can get some of these other numbers down even further is my thought process, like, at the end of the day, if we close up shop there, the yard light's gone, so your electricity is gone. I mean, if we're not running that pump and everything down there, I guess that's what we're doing. I think we're in that covenant and we're just trying to run this last study to see if they'll let us stop collecting leachate. So,
And then a bigger picture, is at the end of the day, that 338 will be down to peanuts to cut trees, pull trees.
yeah.
And you guys do that now without charging that fund.
Yeah, for the most part, we've got the equipment there. It doesn't take the guys long to sit out there with that skid loader and mow those things off.
So what do we want for other studies? I heard 50, 25, 50, doesn't matter really. It doesn't really matter, it's restricted. 50.
Trying to stay on your deviation.
This is restricted. This has nothing to do.
Does it still matter? Again, that's my
I get that.
Point taken.
But let's look at this example then. We budgeted 106,000, but we only spent 3,700.
Just gonna remain quiet. No more comment.
That's what the report says.
I know. And I should remain quiet, or?
I'm hearing all different things, so 50,000.
Okay. So we got 5,000, 10,000, 50,000, 1,000, and 65, or excuse me, 15,000. And then on revenue, I think we should probably cut it down. We've already received 1,700 right now.
This is the interest on that 338,000. Since it's restricted, it can get its own interest rate. Current activity is 1,776. So yeah, we need to lower that down because we are not gonna bring in the 5,000 this year.
So should we just double that and go 3,500?
This report ran on today, so I don't think they're gonna bring 20, you said 2,500?
I said
I
35.
think 35 is too high.
You don't think that'll double?
So 1717 is only
That's 6 months.
35.
So, okay, what would you like?
I'd say 3,000.
Okay.
Because if we start pulling off that 338, it's gonna be a lot. What do you guys want for interest? 3,000, 35? Going once, going twice.
Three's fine.
3,000.
Okay.
Is that okay with you guys?
You guys?
Yeah. 3,000 for revenue.
Chad, are you okay with the landfill?
I think it looks great.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, I asked him the other day about it. He goes, well, the board usually helps me with this. So
I said that, yeah, I'm just here trying to do a leachate study.
Fair enough.
Oh, well, at least we got it done.
Any questions with those restricted ones, the parks, the weeds, the county conservation? I guess I have to ask this question because you are a first time on this board. If there's a change, we'll let you know as soon as possible for your board to meet again.
Yeah, they will.
But that is what they presented to the auditor and us before the 15th of January, so.
Yeah, just let me know and I'll.
I think we have to have that future discussion too about a truck out of either any fund balance or county betterment, since that truck is used for education throughout the whole county.
Yeah.
We do have a state bid. It is white in color.
Yep.
Either this year yet or next year. That's one of his requests. I think that's his number one priority request, is a new truck for the naturalist. And then a potential second request would be a cold storage / a little bit of a heated area for a shop / storage site to be determined. I would say 200 to 250,000 would be a ballpark to get something built and at least put power into it. Do you have any rough, I know you talked to an architect or designer, Chad.
Yeah, again, and I just threw out, so again, I mean, you know, Chad wants a 60 by 100 building. It's no different than if it's at home, right? I mean, if that's gonna be a $300,000 project and I can only come up with $200,000 or $250,000, well then guess what? Then you re-engineer it. So the way I look at it. So I think there's a couple discussions to be had at the same time there. So, and I'm fully aware of that. But I think, yeah, I did get some numbers. I think it was like right at 209,000, if I remember correctly, was my guesstimation, talking with my contractors behind the scenes without giving up too much information. 207, and that would be a studded frame building with 5 inches of concrete. So we still have no utilities to it, which we don't need a ton of utilities, but it'd be not obviously lights. We'd like to eventually have, we talked about building like some 10 by 10 or 12 by 12 in the back. 60 is a little bit long if you're not gonna be parking a truck and a trailer in there, a little bit wide, excuse me. So we could give up some of that space and then we have a loft above it to store stuff as well. But like our seed storage, we'd like to be heated. We'd like to get the chemicals and all of our flammables out of the nature center garage and put that over there. So you want your chemicals heated as well. So there's a few things. We wouldn't need a whole lot of heat in there, just some electrical, whatever. So, so it would be nice to have some power and stuff over there as well, would be an addition. And then again, the big discussion is where do we put this thing? You know, can we acquire an acre of ground someplace close to the nature center? And at the end of the day, there's gonna be some dirt work and some clearing that's not in there as well, right? This gets to be a little bit of a structure, so we're gonna have to do some dirt work no matter where it goes, get it leveled up. So I don't know what that gets into, another 30,000 maybe, somewhere in there. I don't know for sure how that all works out, but.
And I would just ask again, drive past the landfill where all that stuff is stored right now, and you're gonna see mostly half of it outside in the weather, in the elements.
Yeah.
I go past that place daily.
Yeah.
But anyway, take a look, board, please. This building's been requested now for 5-7 years.
The other side effect of all of this that's really good for me and my department as well, right? So I think Scott, you were out there with me that day a couple years ago when we met the DNR, and these old landfills were entering into that covenant. They like to see those properties upcycled and get back into the hands of the public. So one of the recommendations, one of the areas that is acceptable is public hunting. So I mean, again, from what I do on a daily basis, I'm now able to offer another 40 acres to the taxpayers of the county. And it didn't really cost us anything. You know how that goes, we can talk about that too, but, so there's a little bit of a caveat there too, we're gonna be able to open that up, in my opinion, to the public, so they're getting, a little extra for their dollars there as well, so.
But right
Something
now,
to keep in mind.
yeah, but right now it's not open to the public.
No, we don't open it again, I mean, and you know how that's gonna go.
Because we have equipment
We
back
have
there.
equipment up there and other stuff, so, and again, the guys are up there working, potentially, I don't need people hunting pheasants out back and peppering the shed with bird shot and stuff like that when they're out there. So, so yeah, there's some good things that potentially could come out of this as well, which is a big thing there as well for us. So,
And I think I've been talking about the county betterment fund. It's going to be minus the 70,000, and what we decide next week for EMS. But that fund could have easily over 300,000 in it come next end of fiscal year. So the people voted for that to be used in the rural part of the county.
Be a good use of that money.
I think it'd be excellent use.
But now the pickup, I really think that we should try to work that in that budget amendment that's coming up.
sure.
In my opinion, because it would kill two birds with one stone. It'd take care of Dave, and it would,
Yeah.
if you guys don't.
Man, I'm here to tell you too, just put in a good way to go for Dave. I mean, he looked at that truck and he's like, yeah, I mean, I think I can get 4 or 5 years on this truck.
He did say that.
Like, I mean, so, just keep that in mind too, right? I don't know if he's been up here for budget
No,
season yet or
he
not,
was-
but that's my plug for Dave, like, not, because again, he didn't have to do that, right? I mean, so I think it's great that he's willing to work with us and help the county out there.
That crew got to work good for him. He's moving things.
Yeah,
Shouldn't be on the weather sometimes. But he's got
I think it would be.
backup, so.
and that's always those things, right? Like, so the new vehicle would be the one that I drive for a while, because again, we'll rotate it down to Matt, to put miles on it again, and, that's when we use for, hauling the crew around or going to meetings, or if I have somebody, that I need to shove something with, so, but.
So I guess, yeah, we need to either work on a budget amendment for this idea. I think it's a great idea, but it's still, we need more discussion on the building project if we're gonna move that way, using county betterment funds. And don't have to finish it. And county attorney's working on my phasing definition yet. If we can do the 200,000 this year and then eventually add concrete, and I don't think this building project's gonna be over 500,000, don't get me wrong there. But we still have to go out for public bids. We still have to do all the
Sure.
public hearing
Sure.
stuff, so.
And again, I'd be happy to come in and sit down maybe, and actually maybe that's the next step too, once we get through this budget process and actually like, okay, this is what conservation wants, this is what the board thinks we want to spend on this project, and then we come together and kind of get some hard numbers on that stuff, and then, like you said, whether we get built in phases or whatever, I think that's a good start moving forward.
To me, the first step is you gotta find a spot for it.
We gotta get that figured out, right? And that seems to be the big discussion.
You got a lot of old trees that are.
There's a lot of yays and nays in that one, so.
Take a look.
If I get over that hurdle, I'll be happy, so.
All right, any other questions for the things we discussed with Chad? If not, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chad, for all your, you've done.
Yeah, not a problem, thank you. I'll be up to the next day or two, chew on you about making sure I've got all my budget numbers and stuff
Okay.
together for that grant.
So my apologies, everyone. I was gonna have a lot more of the miscellaneous budgets together. The only one I have done or had submitted to me was the hazmat.
Yeah, you guys all saw that one. It's just a
Yeah.
6,006. That comes in from Waterloo.
Yeah, so, but I do not have.
All the other ones are gonna be discussed at a future date.
Mhm.
I feel strongly we all need to be here, so that's why those have been canceled until next week. For tomorrow, we are still gonna meet tomorrow. but we are not gonna do budgets, due to a death of somebody's family member. Any other questions on budgets? We got those answers for the EMS. Joel will figure some new numbers with Sheila. Just to mention some FYI stuff, we are meeting January 14th at 5:30 for the conference board meeting this Wednesday. The 6 county meeting is next week, either the 21st or 22nd in Fayette. Isaac, are you gonna attend the hotel motel meeting?
Yes.
Perfect.
You guys got an email, city council meeting is on Thursday.
They have not confirmed it yet, have they? Oh, you just got one? Okay, so they did confirm it to
Is that
Thursday?
something I need to make an agenda?
Yeah, we'll have to get you the
Do you
agenda.
wanna send it to me then? The meeting?
Just an FYI, in the back, you guys got the letters that, these volunteer people are no longer volunteering after December 31st. That was drafted through Mike Galloway and myself and the auditors, so just, that's an FYI. Any committee assignments? Travis?
I got an email the other day. Health insurance renewal is 2.91%. Going up this year.
That's Chickasaw counties?
No, that's over the whole, that's everything.
Okay, so yeah, they have not determined Chickasaw counties yet.
No, not yet.
So that's, I think, Walmart's recommendation.
Just Walmart.
Yes. So now we can work with that number and figure out if there's any excess left for PSF. When do you guys meet? Has that been out?
Yeah, February
12th, 13th?
12th, 13th.
Okay, perfect. Isaac, any committee assignments?
No.
Steve?
No.
Alright. There was something else I'm missing. Yes, right here. Future agenda items then. So January 19th and 20th will be awful busy now. Trying to get caught up. We also have public hearings set for the urban renewal plan on the 19th, and then maybe even go out and not to exceed a loan. So Piper Sanders, Travis can get us the documents. I've been working with the engineer's office, trying to get a date set before the letting of that B22 project. Just trying to get it all put together in a timeline. Anything else I'm missing? Anything else on budgets?
Not that I can think of.
Hopefully they all show up by the 15th per law. I know the Veterans Affairs meet, I believe, tomorrow night. And they better be in Sheila's office by the 15th, so that's a reminder to Keith and his team. I don't know anybody else is not gonna get it in by then.
I think we're gonna have some.
EMA meets also the 14th, so
They don't, he doesn't have to get in for me.
he doesn't have to get into you, but I asked him to come up here on the 19th and ask for potential general supplemental requests. So Jeff will be on the boards up here meeting on the 19th or the 20th. Otherwise, I think we're in line. Our next due deadline is I believe March 5th, our max levy. And we have to have it to the people by the 20th, right?
So all the cities have to have it to me by the March 5th, and the county has to be done, and then I gotta do the mailing by the 15th.
Yep, so that's the next deadline from the current law, House File 718. We have to get the county auditor our max levy rates by the 5th of March. So I still think we are sitting pretty good. We need to work on the ending fund balance, the re-estimates, but we need to hear all the budget presentations too. So I'm not trying to cut out early, but that's all I have for y'all. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So. Okay.
Motion by Scott, second by Travis to adjourn at 11:22. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? Motion is carried. Yeah, we're meeting tomorrow, but not, yeah. One second, let me get this closed out.
So we're gonna leave everything, we're gonna leave everything open and then we'll